Hey,
Huh?
we're back in. Yeah, dude.
This is going to be the
we're
worst.
in the future.
This is the worst intro ever because to an audio podcast, it relies so heavily on the visual element. But what have I shaved onto my face, dude? I want to. Yeah, it's true. But I want first for you to just tell me what this moustache is. What style of facial hair I've got.
I was going to say pathetic, but I'm going to go.
Say pathetic, no, different one.
Okay.
Different one's pathetic. I do agree.
You've gone for
Can I make it clear? I do agree as well.
And let me just add a footnote. Ollie tried to just surprise me before recording, and he sat down in his chair and gone, "What do you think?" And I'm like, "What am I looking for?"
Mate, I wish I was someone with cool facial hair. Look, I've made an effort, all right, dude, because this is a special episode, and I've made a special effort. And yeah, maybe I've gone through 37 years of life without ever trying to shave my facial hair into any form of shape or anything. And this is a first. This is a first for me.
And
dude.
you've gone with the traditional. I think technically, is it a Fu Manchu? But we'll call it a handlebar moustache.
Have I not even done a handlebar? I thought this was a handlebar. Have I not even done it? For real, I've not done a handlebar moustache. You could have told me that before we started recording. I've got a Fu Manchu. This is the handlebar. This is the Life Behind Bars episode, and I've got a Fu Manchu. What even is a Fu Manchu? Also, I've repeated it like 3 times without knowing what it is. I feel like it might be racist. Dude, what a start. Can we look up Fu Manchu?
What
we
is
might need to bleep it out.
Yeah. Fu Manchu moustache. Yeah, dude, you've gone with the Fu Manchu.
Right. So to the 95% of people who consume this podcast audio only, I have tried to do what I thought was a handlebar moustache for the handlebar episode, because this is a very exciting episode for me, so I thought I'd celebrate, but I've done it wrong.
Yeah. Let me explain what the Fu Manchu is, and then you can say whether or not you think you've got it. So a Fu Manchu moustache, or simply Fu Manchu, is a full, straight moustache extending from under the nose, past the corners of the mouth, and growing downward past the clean-shaven lips and chin in tapered tendrils, often extending past the jawline. An extension of the Fu Manchu sometimes includes a third tendril descending from a small patch on the chin.
Really? That's the full Fu Manchu?
I think you got a Fu Manchu.
I've got Fu Manchu, haven't I? Can I just say, I think it's worth getting out of the way, because I appreciate some people might have even taken the effort to actually look at this. I just look pathetic. Like, it looks like nappy rash down the middle. It's all red. There's patches. It is just pathetic, dude. And it's not even a handlebar moustache. What is a handlebar moustache then? I thought this...
I don't know. Let me Google
where it
that.
goes up, which I definitely can't pull off either.
Handlebar moustache. Oh, no, I think the traditional handlebar... Okay, so a traditional handlebar moustache is a moustache with particularly lengthy and upwardly curved extremities. What? These moustache styles are named for their resemblance to the handlebars of a bicycle. It is also known as a spaghetti moustache. See, I can't say that. So there you go, mate. You've gone with the Fu Manchu over the handlebar, but...
What a pathetic loser. I've done the wrong moustache, and I've done it, may I add, really badly. There's something about... I can't imagine ever... Like, I want to get this off my face so quick.
Really?
Yeah,
Has anyone seen it? Has George seen it? Is she into it? Or
she's not going to see it either. It's going to be gone by the time she gets home.
Look,
from some angles, do you think it's got anything going on? Or it doesn't even connect,
yeah, Fu Manchu.
It's just... Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. Well, a handlebar one though, mate. Like, I know we're going to talk a lot about handlebars, but the handlebar moustache would take so much more work because you've really got to grow it out so you can twist the ends. That way you can hold the bars,
dude,
and you can steer the face.
Absolutely. It's not, and to be honest, this was a last-minute decision. That's why we got nappy rash down the middle. I was shaving it, and I could hear you in the other room. Hello. That's when we got this done. So this is really... I thought I'd leave it for as long as possible so that I had the best chance of it actually being a full, what I thought was a handlebar, which I now know is a Fu Manchu.
I like the Fu Manchu.
All right, then we got the Fu Manchu. Maybe I should have called the handlebars that we're going to talk about the Fu Manchu.
I was going to say it's a great product name, isn't it? It's a really good product name, Fu Manchu.
It's a good start to the episode, I think. I think it's a fitting start. It's because the cool thing is, it's only up from here, really, isn't it? It's only up from here. I'm stoked, dude.
Definitely.
I'm really pleased that you've agreed to do what arguably is a fairly me-heavy episode.
Yeah, it's going to be you heavy for sure.
Mate, I'm excited though.
It's good though. I'm excited. I'm excited. Yeah. I'm excited. So what? Okay, we're going to take obviously, apologies to interrupt you right there. No. We're going to take a real deep dive into this. We're going to take a deep dive into the history of Olly, DMR, all the stuff that you've done for them throughout the years. We're going to take a bit of a deep dive. I have no notes, but I'm sure we're going to figure this out. But what day? So right now, I guess if people are listening on day of release, it will be okay. It's going to be the 22nd. Okay,
that's the day of release. So the
next day we've got.
So the bars come out.
No,
the day after.
The day of the podcast. Yeah, or we release on the 23rd.
So this is a sneak peek potentially. All right, we'll work it out either way. To be honest, I feel like people know it's happening anyway. I've got so many comments and I don't keep secrets very well. It's quite hard for me to hide the fact I've been running them for ages. But yeah, the Odub bar. And I'm celebrating 20 years of riding for DMR. That is insane. I don't even feel like I've got 20 years under my belt that to me it blows my mind. That does. 20 years, dude.
Does it also mark the start of growing the facial hair? Was that about 20 years ago when that started?
I don't even think so, dude. I was pathetic at school. I wasn't one of those... Well, I'm pathetic now. I wasn't one of those... Do you remember the guys at school that had facial hair? I just used to think, wow, what chance... Leave some girls for me. You know what I mean?
Dude,
come on, you can't have them all.
I remember going on a school trip, mate. We were about 13, right? And there was a kid that was in our class, or whatever, 13, probably, 13, went to France. And this kid, Mansour, he was called, right? Mansour brought a razor. And we were like, what the... And he had to shave, dude. He was like 13. And, wow. Dude, I barely had a hair on my nuts. It was, you know what I mean? And he was literally at night, otherwise he'd grow a beard at 13, bro.
He'd have a shadow.
Interesting kid, actually. Like a midday shadow. He was Persian. Super interesting kid, actually.
Yeah.
I wonder what happened to that guy. If you're listening, Mansour, reach out.
I wanted to make a joke about the 13-year-old with a beard being Persian, but I didn't feel confident, and I wish I had now.
Yeah.
Because it's just... it's not even a joke. It's just factual that the 13-year-old kid that had facial hair with you at school was Persian.
Yeah, bro. We left school, I think I left at 16, obviously. I remember going away for a few years. I came back, so I'll have been about 18, and I seen him in a people carrier with 4 kids. It's this guy accelerated through life.
He's turbocharged.
He's probably retired now. He's probably dead.
I wanted it so bad, facial hair, but I wasn't willing to take any steps.
Yeah.
I know a lot of my friends that probably have really perfect, non-patchy beards now. They used to shave at school. Well, they weren't even my friends, dude. I didn't hang out with them, but I know they used to shave. People, did you? So that they're all just pathetic people that rode bikes too much, but they used to shave so that it would grow back. Because I think it is I've never clean shaven ever. I've never done it. I don't know I can't imagine what it feels like. It'd feel like rubbery.
Wow, really?
Never, yeah.
So what? Okay, so what? This is hilarious. This is the handlebar launch episode, but let's just get this out of the way. So what's your shaving technique right now? What razor would you use?
Manscaped.
Electric?
But in reality, not Manscaped, but hopefully they'll do ads, but Manscaped, yeah. But it's that style one, an electric one, yeah. Just a...
Yeah, same.
But I have the guard.
I used to clean shave a little bit, but it makes me look super young.
That's good though, isn't it?
I do the Manscaped still. I actually use the Manscaped one, to be honest. I genuinely do. I will often do the nuts, the sack, the crack, and the face all in one. Yeah.
Why not?
Same day. So just get it done.
Can I be honest with you? I gave my Manscaped one away as a Christmas present. Is that bad? I hadn't used it. I mean, I'm really hoping that they come back on as a sponsor so that I can get amongst it. Anyway.
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
I did the same thing. But with the spare one, because we had one to use for a giveaway, and I gave it my dad for Christmas.
Perfect present. It's such a good present. It's like a talking point, brilliant present. Hopefully they come back.
I couldn't resist.
No. I mean, maybe if I had the Manscaped shaver, this would look a bit less nappy rash and pathetic. I could have.
Yeah, they are coming back. They are actually joining us again. Manscaped are coming back, folks. If you need a new razor, have a look through your cupboard, see if you want to get rid of the razor, and we'll be ready to go with Manscaped.
Yeah, hold
probably
tight.
around
Wait till
April.
we got the code. Yeah, wait till we got the code.
Yeah,
April,
the code's coming.
Yeah,
April,
absolutely.
April time.
Likewise, same goes for handlebars.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get a code, who knows. Yeah. 20 years in, I still got a rubbish facial hair. I do remember it though. I actually remember starting to ride for DMR very clearly.
Okay.
Because it was the
take
dream.
Us back, man. Take us back to the prepubescent Ollie with no facial hair.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was racing 4-cross for a company called Dialed Bikes, and then they didn't have a dirt jump bike for me.
Wow, no way.
Yeah. So they didn't have a dirt jump bike for me, so I was racing 4-cross and then competing in dirt jump contests. You know, this is like King of Dirt days, NAS days, the bike show, that kind of thing. Actually, I didn't go to the bike show before DMR. Anyway, back then, it was quite the kind of... Dirt jumping was quite the kind of spectacle. So quite often, like, dirt jump events would happen alongside 4-cross events or as demos at races, or it was like... It was used as a spectacle. And weirdly, it was strangely big time back then. I would say now it's gone much more core, the dirt jump. Other than the giant events that go on, the UK scene is it's lower key. There's there's Dirt Wars.
Dirt Wars, isn't there, and stuff.
There's Dirt Wars, but they rarely go alongside other events, and that's really how we got crowds around and hype, because it would be at another event. So,
why do you think that could be? Like, I'd be interested just to hear your thoughts on that, because my initial thought is that when sports like dirt jumping, for example, I guess start picking up momentum, it feels like it's actually a little bit more accessible, and some of the tricks are a bit like, I could probably, after riding dirt for a few years, I could probably have a go at I don't know, let's just use a fucking tail whip, for example. Like, I probably at some point, but then it almost gets to a point where it's unachievable for a lot of people. I don't know. I don't know if you think that's accurate, but I feel like...
I was 16, so it's 21 years ago. There wasn't such thing as a foam pit that I knew of. So therefore, no one could backflip. Like, there were like a number of that you could count the number of people that could backflip on one hand, and I was one of them. Like, really, back then it was like you can name them. It was like Glenn Coe, Mike Smith, Jim Davidge, Chopper. Like, there were. I don't even know if Chris used to backflip. Chris Smith. Anyway, there were so few people that would backflip that a backflip was a real spectacle. People hadn't seen it in real life, and if there was a 4-cross race on, they put a dirt jump next to it. People want to see a backflip. You couldn't see it on your mobile phone. You didn't even have that. You have to wait for a video to come out. It wasn't like a thing. So that's what that's what I would put it down to. It was much more of a spectacle, and it was something that was going on in the woods, separate to everything. Dirt jumping was like it's funny talking about it now. It does make me feel a little bit old, but people don't think about that. They don't think about how Chopper Fielder, he was like Grant Fielder, who we've had on
the man.
He was so the man, because when he did a 360 bar spin, it wasn't the same as you see someone do a 360 bar spin every 3 seconds on a TikTok or on Instagram. He had to make up things that he was doing. Maybe you could see it in a video in a VHS of a BMXer, or something like that. But you didn't have that. Like, it just wasn't accessible. You couldn't do it in foam, take it to resi, get it on dirt. You had to do it into a river or build a jump and do it. It was like, I feel like I'm making excuses for myself, and maybe I am. But
no, not at all. It was so weird though, man.
Yeah.
So pure back then. Like, it was so different. Like, all that stuff before, like you said before, now you can just look at whoever you may be looking up to, whether it's a Brett Reader or whoever it could be, and you can see all this stuff just swipe through it. Whereas then you had to make your way to a dirt jump comp. You heard rumours, oh, this guy can flip, this guy can 3-whip, and you'd go and you'd try and see it. I remember, dude, right? It's slightly off topic, but not really. Mike Metzger coming over after the freestyle motocross flip was starting to get a little bit of momentum. Carey Hart did it. Mike Metzger then did it. He did a double, one big flip, and then he did another one after it. Not a double flip in one hit. And he came to Sheffield, to the arena, to the Supercross, and he was going to do a backflip. And you had to physically buy a ticket, go down there, sit in the stands, and wait to see a backflip. And you saw it, and you were just like, wow, mind blown. But now you could just look at it anywhere. Like you could see it anywhere, and you can watch replays of them and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's crazy, man, when you think. I'd probably prefer it back then. I don't know about you, but I would definitely like it that way again, to be honest.
There is,
I don't know.
When you said I didn't think of it as pure, I just think of myself as a bit of a dinosaur when I talk about it. But when you say pure, the reality is, right, everyone did all of these things without even thinking about filming them. And you can't argue that there's not something in that. It's because you wanted to do it. Like there is something like... Yeah. You are right. There is something pure about that. There is something cool. The fact that, Chop, like Jim Davidge did a front flip. There wasn't even a camera on him. He's just there with his mates. Chopper did.
Imagine
a truck.
I know rocking up to a comp as well, knowing that you've probably got something in your trick bag that you haven't seen someone do before. That must be so insane. And then just uncorking it and just doing it. That's crazy, man. The old days are so different when you really think back and how it was, and
Mike Smith of MB. You know, he was really, really good early on at flips, so he could take it to any jump and do it. And I remember him doing flip tables, and I remember being like, fucking hell, we've got a contest coming up, you know, Mikey's going to do his flip table. It's funny to think about it, because now I'm so like, I'm kind of, obviously I'm crap at tricks. I don't get hyped about it, but I remember being so hyped. I had a 3 1-foot X, and I was like, right, we got NAS coming up. I'm going to drop the 3 1-foot X. Or like whatever. It's so funny.
It's interesting thinking about you as well as like a comp rat. Like I really can't see it. No. You know, and especially I didn't even know actually that you rode. I didn't know you rode for Dialed. That's crazy, because I rode for Dialed as well.
No way.
So that's... Yeah.
Mike at Dialed.
Oh, yeah. Mike at Dialed. Yeah, definitely, dude. Yeah. I don't know what happened to Mike at Dialed, but yeah, that's crazy. So I can't remember what year it was when I was doing it. It would have been like 2009 or 2010.
Yeah, wicked.
I read
good.
Dialed.
And that was 4-cross.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, 4-cross, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Crazy.
It is crazy, isn't it? So
yeah.
But to go back to DMR, I was 17, and I was at college, and I remember just thinking, like, DMR to me when I was younger was like the cool. It was one of the only brands that embraced dirt jumping, and like the Trail Star and the Sidekick and the Rhythm. They were all like, they were all kind of like they were trail boss bikes, especially around where we are. There's a lot of like proper trails, and Rob Horton was on the Rhythm, for instance. He's like a trail legend. The road trip used to come through town once a year with Alex Rankin for Sprung, and it was always the sickest riders. It was like Ross Tricker. It was like there was just something cool around DMR. And when I was younger, I really liked DMR, and to this day I still do. I still think it's like a brand that I'm drawn to. Not because it's super clean, not because it's fussy, not because it's all of the opposite things as a brand. It's like it's a real brand by riders for riders, and it's I don't know. I was so hyped. I remember being. Are
you able to do a brief overview of, you know, obviously we're talking about DMR and how, you know, at this even an early age you were like really into the brand, but do you have like a brief overview of how it started, and like, because I'd be interested to know myself, like, how did it even start, and then how did they get into that scene?
So yeah, absolutely. It's Damien Mason and Matt Riley. That's what DMR stands for, and those are the two bosses to this day that I see. I now go in once a week, so I'm not there as often, but those guys started they actually started kind of alongside distribution as upgrade bikes. They started bringing in like products like Fishbone BMX parts, and then they did one of the first serviceable pedals built around the DX style platform. It was like the V8 and the V12. The V8's loose ball bearings, the V12 was sealed. So they bought these after university, after doing engineering and meeting each other and staying in Taiwan. They started bringing these in, and that's how DMR was born. It was born from messing about in the woods in the UK. I think that's why I like it, because it's like, if you think of products like the Trail Star, which came shortly afterwards, that's like a bike that it is so UK. It's like a bike that's made for like, mate, I've just come back from New Zealand. It's not hard to imagine how you can be a mountain biker if you're in New Zealand. In the UK, you have these weird little triangles of shitty ground next to motorways, and you have to use a bit of imagination to work out how you can have fun on a bike there. Essentially what you're doing is you're going down after work to a bomb hole, and you're jumping out of it to flat and doing tee-ups and imitating motocross or BMX. Like that was mountain biking in the UK. Certainly for me, that was what it was. It wasn't really like pedaling around. Hey, do you know what's real funny? I've just realised I got my shirt on inside out. Anyway, another one for the visual version of the podcast.
I can't tell if it's any. I don't even have trousers on.
A bloke with no trousers on. A bloke with a hack job,
a Fu Manchu
mustache that he thought was a handlebar, and his t-shirt on inside out. What?
And someone gave this guy a Siggy product.
Anyway, right, DMR represents a period of time for me that's like, it really resonates with me anyway as a brand. I don't know if you feel the same.
I actually do. Yeah, I do. I remember first starting to get into and understanding what dirt jumping was, and I got it'll have been a Trail Star. I got a DMR Trail Star, Mazzocchi. I can't remember, were they Bomber Z1? I can't remember what
BAMs,
model
probably,
they were.
That was
Z1,
the one back then,
something like that. And all my friends had them. It was, to be honest, there was a mixture up here. It was a lot of DMR frames, whether it was a Trail Star. I think it was a Trail Star around that time. So let's say before the Forecross days for me, I had the DMR bikes, and then up here there was a bit of a lot of Planet X because Planet X isn't far away. They brought out a Jack Flash, which was really popular up here, and Chrome. SDG. Do you remember the SDG shooter?
I do.
Like, they were pretty popular up here as well. Yeah. So there was like, those three were like the bikes. If you went dirt jumping, you had one of those three.
Yeah.
You know, if you got a serious like slope, I used to think of it as like a slopey down tube, and it was like a proper aggressive dirt jump bike.
To the back end, that was like the aim, wasn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that was it. That's what you wanted. Yeah. And all you did before that, for me, I remember having a GT Outpost Trail, which was more of a cross country bike, but I was really trying to make it into a dirt jump bike. So you slam the seat as far as you can get it down, and like the forks, is, you know, high rise stem and all that sort of stuff. And that was kind of like the evolution of it for me. DMR has definitely been. It's funny, dude, because I don't really think about it as much as I maybe should, because unless you do have these conversations with you or with your friends or whatever, you forget. Like, I used to froth over DMR stuff in magazines. Dude, totally. And also 24/7. I was a huge 24/7 fan.
Do you know what?
Massive 24. Do you remember 24/7?
Yeah, big time. Do you know what the thing is about that Trail Star? Because you can look at it, it's just a tubular steel frame. It was, you know, what's special about it? But it was, anything before it was so compromised. It was, like you say, a cross-country bike with the seat slammed down. It was so...
cross-country bike.
Bikes were so... I don't want to be horrible, but bikes were so crap before the Trail Star. And, like, I'm not saying that Trail Star, like, invented it. I'm sure there are other bikes coming out around the same time, but it was such a giant step, and it like embodied so much for me in the UK. I don't think there was any relevance to me being from the South and DMR being here. It was like Alex Rankin Sprung videos and Dirt Magazine that used to. That's why I knew about DMR. It was those things, and it was like seeing the pedals in the bike shop. They were the most high end pedals. The V12s being sealed. it was like something that I could never even imagine getting. So
Crazy.
it just had this sort of like...
and I think that word pure comes back as well, man. Of like how pure it was back then, of going down the magazine shop. You used to go down the local magazine shop, get the mags, and like flick through, you see the adverts and you see all of like the new products coming out. It was so just different and just so pure, and just like you used to actually, you know, I think if a few episodes ago we talked about like falling in love, and every product you were just like, I really fucking want those pedals. Like they're going to change everything for me. If I get those pedals on that bike, I'm going to be the talk of the town. It's it's so good back then, man. It really, it's good. I'm enjoying this because it's a bit of a walk down memory lane for me as well, because I do forget how into dirt jumping I was when I was younger, and like all that stuff.
I mean, to be honest, as a brand as well, it's not been hard for me to stay like loyal to DMR, to still be on them 20 years later. It's not been hard because it's like so many of the things that that DMR stands for are in line with me. With you know what I mean? And I appreciate this sounds like this really does sound like an advert, and to a certain extent it is. You know, I'm trying to. I'll be honest. I'm trying to plug my bars. I'm super hyped. I've got signature bars, but real talk. There's a lot of things about the brand that I really like, and there's a lot of things about other brands that I don't like. Like, I love the fact that always DMR has it's been a massive aim for DMR to build products that last and that you can look after and that you can replace bearings on. That is not across the board. That and it comes with a penalty, and you can't have products that are at like the cutting edge of weight or all of these things. Those things don't bother me. I'm not interested in those things. I want like honest products that actually work, and that you can change the bearings and you can swap the bits out. And I think a lot of people actually from the UK are drawn to. I think they are drawn to that because you go through a long fucking hard winter, and like you want to be able to change the bearings in your pedals. You don't want something that just like breaks and you have to start again, buy a new one. It's like...
Definitely. There's something really not cool about brands even having that thought that they're going to make something that isn't going to last as well. Because, I don't know, don't really know. I mean, these things aren't cheap either. So I'm with you that you want to buy something, you want to be able to service it, you want to be able to change the pins out, you want to be able to change the bearings in the pedals, and you know, you want a set of pedals to just last you a good... God knows, man. I mean, I've got V8s on that I've had on for 3 years. Like, I know it's not a long time, but it's
almost embarrassing.
It's a long time.
The length of time I have some products on my bike for, it's almost like, come on, dude, change them out. Hey, look, it's a really good segue actually to the first point on my list, because I do have a list here that I want to talk about, and hopefully this isn't just going to be like an advert, because I find this stuff interesting, and I hope that our listeners do as well. Like, it's a proper journey developing a product. It's not quick and easy. You can't just pick from a catalogue. It's really, really involved. And I'm lucky enough to have been involved in loads of products. And this one's... I wouldn't put my name on something that wasn't like something that was thought out. So
yeah, that's nice, man. Nicely put. That's so true. So I'm looking forward to getting into your list. But on this list, is there going to be the first product that you got involved with?
No, we'll wait until later for that.
Okay. So,
you mean
awesome.
You're not talking about my last signature product? You're talking about...
I'm talking about the first product. Yeah, the first product.
So the first product I probably got involved on was probably... It will have just been product feedback. I didn't know what I was doing when I was 17. I didn't really understand anything. I spent a long time trying to just not bother people at DMR. I was just thinking... Fuck me, I don't know how I get away with this. I get free t-shirts, free bike parts. They seem to like replace them when I break them. I just need to keep this on the down low. I need them to forget about me, so that I don't want to cause a stir. I just, you know, I really didn't understand sponsorship. I didn't know what I was there for. And to a certain, in my defense, I wasn't really trying to be sponsored.
Okay. How did that come about? Something that, again, we probably have spoken about, but again, it'd be nice to get an overview, because that's super important. That you looked up to this brand, you're buying the products already. When did they approach you, or how did that go? And how did you end up actually becoming a sponsored DMR athlete 20 years ago?
Tom Lang was the reason. Tom Lang was DMR team manager and a killer BMX rider from Brighton. He had seen me at a number of King of Dirts, and I'd always do okay at the King of Dirts. Obviously, I'd get smashed by Chopper, smashed by Mikey, smashed by Chris Smith, whoever, smashed by Davidge, Glencoe, whoever was like on it that weekend, I'd get beaten by. But
yeah,
I was never like number one, or I'd rarely win a contest. But like, I was quite bad at keeping my bikes in good condition. We can put it that way.
Really? Yeah. Who would have thought?
Well, my bike got nicked when I was younger, and so I didn't have any money. I worked at Halfords. They didn't pay me very well, as you can imagine. So I just had like begged and borrowed parts. I didn't have a chain on my bike, and I was doing the King of Dirts. So I think like,
wow.
Yeah, it was like, so Tom Lang. I think I was easy to like because I was almost so haggard. I had this awful bike, really bad condition, rigid forks, 24-inch wheels, no chain, and I was riding and doing okay at dirt jump contests because you didn't need to pedal. You know, I rode at Wisley, Leatherhead, Chertsey, Milford. None of those spots you need to pedal for. They're all UK slightly downhill trails. It's like you don't need a chain. But yeah. Get the violins out. You know, at the King of Dirt, I looked like hard done by. So Tom just
comes back to that same word again. It comes back to the pure word. It was pure. It's pure love for the sport and pure love for being there and doing it because you enjoyed it, right?
Oh, mate, absolutely.
So pure.
I mean, like, it's so funny to look back on it now because as someone now, I'm almost like a bloody agoraphobic. Like, I try and avoid any large crowds of people. Whereas back then, I wouldn't care about the crowds. I'd just be there because I'd want to ride these jumps and I'd want to be like, basically just wanted to be like a pro rider. I didn't really think about it. I just wanted to be like, I don't know. I just wanted to ride at the NEC bike show. I wanted to do. Back then, life was very simple, and it was like I just wanted to do the things that I'd grown up looking at. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I feel you, mate. I was in the same position.
Yeah,
totally.
Exactly. Yeah. So anyway, I went to one King of Dirt. I think I got third at this King of Dirt on my bike with no chain at the time, buckled wheels, buzzing my frame, and Tom Lang had bought a bike along for me. He knew I wasn't going to say no, and I from the podium got given a bike, and then I was on DMR. It's as simple as that. Pretty cool.
Wow,
really.
That's cool, dude. That's really cool. That kind of, that's a lovely story. Great of him as well. That's really nice. And it's kind of like how the whole Red Bull thing works, right? If someone just comes over and gives you a helmet, you're like, oh, I'm on Red Bull now.
Already knew I'd say yes. But
yeah.
I'd grown up watching skate videos, and I'd seen like, you know, people getting picked up, and they were quite often, you know, the when someone gets picked up, they're a rat, which I was a proper rat. I was like, you know, no money, scabs all over my elbows and knees, and like a broken bike. And then exactly what I saw in skate videos happened to me. I went with Tom Lang around the headquarters. I couldn't drive at the time, so I have no idea how I got over there. He gave me a shopping trolley, and I just walked around, and he'd be like, what size are you? You have one of these. That to me was like, I can't believe this. This is what happens in skate videos. You're like walking around, you're getting all this stuff for free. This is all stuff that I would never have been able to afford, or, you know, this is all just like, I never had anything new. It was all just second-hand stuff that I would get off people. I was lucky enough to have like nice people around me that would get me stuff for cheap. So I remember going around DMR back then and just being like, this is absolutely unfathomable. This is like, I can't imagine it. I've got like 4 hoodies. I've got like 5 t-shirts. They've given me a frame. They've given me spare forks. The amazing thing about DMR is that it's upgrade bikes, so they always had like these other brands that have actually ended up being sponsored by as well. So like, for instance, Tektro. I'd just stick a Tektro brake in there. Do you want the carbon lever? Yeah, I want the carbon lever. Are you serious? I can get the carbon lever. Like, I just couldn't believe it, dude. I was
wow.
Yeah, and then it came as a package deal with Dirty Habit as well. So I went from having, I can't tell you how much of a rat I was. I went from being, I then had free socks. I was riding for a company that gave me free socks. Are you serious, dude? Like I didn't have to wear the Donne socks that I get once a year at Christmas. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it.
The Wilsons are gone.
The Wilsons were out of there. They were out of there. So yeah, I do remember. It's cool actually thinking about it now, because I don't think about it often, and it's been so many. Like it's a lot of years. I feel like you get to a certain age and you do start to sort of like forget things a little bit, right?
Yeah. Totally. But, it's important to remember your roots, man, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially when something so relatively big as this, of getting a Siggy product is happening. Yeah. So it's important to think about where it all started, dude. And yeah, pushing a shopping trolley around upgrade bikes must have been... when you're young, you got no money, you're broke. Like that is the dream. That is the dream.
Unbelievable. So DMR at the time...
Do you feel like you'd have kept going if that didn't happen? Do you think like...
What, contests and that?
With everything? Yeah. Do you think if that didn't happen...
I didn't care enough about it, dude. I didn't care. I was just... I definitely wouldn't have. I mean, you question it because obviously my group of friends, like... I actually remember Bren had just signed for Orange when I think he had just signed for Orange when I was on DMR, or vice versa. Like we both had like these kind of funny deals before, and then we were on a proper team representing a brand. And it was like exactly the same time. So I will have been 17, he will have been 15, or whatever when he signed for Orange. It's just a bizarre thought. But so to answer your question, I don't know. But okay. I can honestly say I never really tried to be a pro rider back then. It wasn't like because it wasn't really an avenue to make a living or anything. It was like I don't know. And it wasn't even out of necessity. I didn't really know why it was happening to me. It was just like, well, cool, yeah, please, yeah, please. Like 4-cross, it was obvious.
You already must have had that early love though for like design and logos and marketing and stuff like that. You were already kind of into that. I guess that's also what draws you to brands like DMR, right? You see their values, you see what message they're putting out, and you just align with it. So you'll have already been.
I was into all of it, but I didn't know.
That's kind of how I was, man. I was well into that. I didn't understand what it was that I liked.
Yeah.
But, getting Dirt Bike Rider or whatever magazine and going through and reading it and like looking at the adverts and trying to figure it all out. It was such an exciting time.
Yeah.
Such an exciting time. Like you couldn't wait for that new magazine every month. Like it was like a highlight. 17th of every month, new Dirt Bike Rider. You're down the shop, you're getting your thing, you're flicking through, looking at all the new kit. Like, it's such a fucking crazy time to think about.
Mate, it was, absolutely. It was like, I look back on it really fondly because it was so... It was like someone was filtering what I was like. They're getting rid of all the kook gash shit. They weren't putting it in there. Dirt Magazine was like a Bible to me at the time. It really was exactly what's cool. You had Dirt Magazine, you had like Thrasher in skating, you had 411, you had Sprung, you had all of these things were... Everything had to be vetted, so nothing got through the net. If Mike Rose, Paul Bliss, if those guys didn't think you were rad, you weren't getting in Dirt Magazine. You couldn't just be like, there wasn't such thing.
True.
Like, dude, we live now in the era of like this word, the influencer, of which I do certain. I kind of fall under that category, but before I didn't fall under that category before. It wasn't like you were getting a magazine if you were slightly kooky. Mate, there were 12 spots a year to be on the cover. You best believe they thought about who they put on the cover. You know what I mean? It was like, it was so hard back then. It wasn't like you just put out relentless content. And absolutely, the content that people put out now is unbelievable, and there's so much of it, and there's so much amazing riding, and it can you get to see all of it. But back then everything was vetted, wasn't it? Everything was like, I don't know if that's the right word, it was like filtered.
It was it was definitely. I'm just trying to think how to say this, but it must have been a crazy thing for them because they were almost like carving out what made that sport cool, in a way. They were literally carving it out, and if you didn't make the cut, you weren't getting in the magazines, you weren't getting any exposure.
No.
And
I loved it about DMR because it was elite. It was like You ever seen Dogtown Z-Boys? You seen the Zephyr team?
Yeah.
That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
I remember rocking up to Birmingham NEC, and it was like we were like the. From my perspective, the team then was like a trail team. It was like a team of people that everyone on the team builds a set of trails. You could name the spots. You know what I mean? It was.
Yeah.
So we were all basically dirt jump rats, and there were more polished riders that maybe had access to skate parks, or they were like a bit more dialed. But DMI had this sort of like, it felt real. Something about it felt real, and I think like, I owe a lot to them for sure, because I doubt I would have got in any of these magazines or whatever without having something that verified me as a pro rider.
This is our first AG1 Athletic Greens advert.
Together
in person.
Optimised.
And to celebrate, we're going to show you how you make one.
Yeah, we are. Yeah,
but first, we should go through the points, right?
Definitely, we should go through the points, and then we can use this as inspiration.
Okay, so
this is literally how it works.
So we got to talk about us.
But it's really easy with this product because I genuinely do use it every single day.
Likewise.
The mornings don't feel optimised without a scoop of Athletic Greens.
It's completely become part of my daily routine.
That's beautifully done, mate.
Yeah, nice one. Okay, I'll do the next point. Yeah. Our mission is to empower people. Instead of people, I'm going to put companionship. Our mission is to empower the companionship to take ownership of their health with a simple daily habit. Yeah. What makes you stick to a habit, and how have you made AG1 a part of your life?
I'm loving how it makes me feel, mate, and my days are genuinely better after I've had Athletic Greens. Knowing that you've taken 75 different vitamins, minerals, and whole food ingredients. Yeah. Before your eyes are even awake, and like before you're still wide.
Because you have to take it on an empty stomach, right? You have to take it on empty. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So I do.
It's literally first thing in the morning, get it done. That's how it's become part of the habit.
Do you do it before brushing your teeth or after?
I actually do it before. Is that gross? Okay, you go with the scoop
guy.
So that's
and then you do a travel pack, and then we can show our beautiful companionship exactly how you do this.
Exactly, right? Yeah. So that's a month's worth in that.
It's a month's worth in here. Isn't it?
Yeah, I keep that in the fridge. I keep all of it in the fridge.
I don't keep it in the fridge, but
it's better for it.
Cold up north.
There you go. You don't need to.
You
don't need to.
All right. Okay. Do you want to do yours first, or should we do it at the same time?
Let's do it at the same time because it's cute, and also because it's mainly audio. This is going to encourage people to go to the YouTube video to see us make it.
Okay. The highly technical drink we made.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I like. Oh,
here we go.
The spoon's amazing.
Hey, by the way, I'm currently using the travel pack. You've got 30 days worth in there.
Yeah.
I'm currently using the travel pack. Now, when people sign up using our code, they actually get 5 of these, and they're very useful for when you're on the road, because once this is a part of your routine, you don't want to stop it.
Exactly.
Even if you're on the move.
Beautifully said.
Thanks.
Okay, so you're just gonna put yours in. I'm just gonna put mine in.
That's a portion there. That's a portion measured out into a bag, and yours is a portion in a
scoop. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so that's really good.
Just wanted to give a shout out to the lovely container too, and the spoon.
Oh, it doesn't feel high quality.
The spoon's so nice.
Yeah.
So,
what do you do next?
Exactly. I just wanted to ask you.
Okay. Well, I actually like to just start things off with a little bit of swill.
Ooh.
Is that called a swill?
Yeah, that's nice.
Or circular motion. Depends which part of the world I'm in to which way it spins, because sometimes if I'm in the other hemisphere, it actually goes the other way. So that's just completely dependent on my location.
You go a bit of more of an aggressive one.
Yeah, and then I go with the aggressive one. Obviously, the location is important. Yours is actually spraying out and hitting me a little bit, but that's fine.
Odub AG1.
Yeah, the location is important because I've got the travel pack, whereas your direction is less important.
What do you think the ideal location to drink an AG1 is?
Right where you are right now.
Beautiful. Okay, should we have a...
Yeah, have a taste. Oh, wait. Undo the lid.
Yeah.
But then, also if you sign up using our code, you get a year's supply of vitamin D, which is very relevant at the moment because, as you can see in the background, it's very dark and a little bit dingy on this building site. So I'm just going to give you a little drop.
Nice.
That should replace the sunlight that you're not getting.
Okay.
On a cold winter day.
Put this back in, or do you just go with it?
Let's do a bit more because we like this bit anyway, don't we? Now the taste test. There's no point in taste testing. I have it literally every day. It's delightful. Cheers. Thanks AG1. Thanks Athletic Greens. The link is in the description.
Cheers.
Right.
We're gonna have a little bit. I feel like the ad read would be better now. I've had some of that.
Long ad now, innit? Yeah, it probably would have done. We should have drank it first.
AG1 is so much more than a greens powder. It's all of your key health products in one. And that's one thing I love about it. No more massive supplement drawer, man.
Yeah.
I used to have them all racked up there, all of the different ones, whereas now it's just boom.
Literally that.
It's that.
Done. And that.
All that.
If a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, then Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Go to athleticgreens.com/ride companion. What address is that, Davey?
athleticgreens.com/ride companion. That's athleticgreens.com/ride companion.
And check it out.
And we're back. So what I was talking about, what I wanted to talk about was the design philosophy aspect. We're going to get into the nitty gritty of a product now. So if you're not into that, listen anyway, because I think you might get into it. Because
don't
a lot of stuff,
go anywhere.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell anyone to fast forward because pretty much that's what it is from now on. So what I was the segue I wanted to make was basically about DMR's design philosophy, about it being like realistic, about parts being arguably overbuilt. No one at DMR wants to have a busy warranty department. Believe me, they really don't. I've tried to make us make lighter weight parts over the years. I've tried to make us change bolts from an M6 to an M5 or whatever it is, and there's no room for movement on a lot of things, and it's for a great reason. And subsequently, we don't have a busy warranty department. We don't have parts coming back. We don't have failure. It's like, really, obviously every brand does, but DMR is ridiculous how little stuff we actually get back.
Okay. Yeah, I can believe it. I can believe it for sure.
That plays into the bars, the Odub bar. So through other brands that we distribute and work with, we've got a lot of different connections in Taiwan, and the option to make the Odub bar carbon was absolutely there, and it's absolutely something I have zero interest in putting my name to. I don't like, of all the parts you can make carbon, the bars is probably the last, maybe a pedal axle, but bars is like, it makes no sense to me as a material. I know everyone's probably shouting at the speaker right now, you can make carbon as stronger than alloy, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter, because you clamp stuff around it, you clamp it, so you create these weak points, you chuck it in the back of vans. Carbon doesn't deal with impact well, and a bar is just, in my brain, it doesn't make sense to make a bar carbon. So I appreciate I'm saying that. I've got a Fu Manchu moustache and my shirt on inside out, so you don't necessarily need to listen to me, but I've watched enough videos videos about carbon versus alloy in different industries and different tests, and I feel very happy to put my name on a set of alloy bars. I think carbon would have been a really bad choice, definitely for me, and I can explain why. I'm not fuss pot with my bike. My bike goes in the back of trucks, it goes in the back of vans, it goes on lifts, it gets chucked on uplifts, it gets rattled around. Helicopters, exactly. It just wouldn't be realistic. So that's why I chose an alloy bar. I also resent, as we've already covered in this, I was a rat when I was younger, and I resent the fact that a set of handlebars can be £200. That to me is mind-blowing. These grams we're saving aren't worth all that money. We're alienating younger people from actually getting in on a sport that's given me an awful lot and given you an awful lot in life. It's probably stopped me from being a thieving drug addict. I don't know, but with that moustache, you never know. Exactly. I was thinking about this just before we started recording. Obviously, we as Hookit used to distribute Joystick, Canadian brand, who had a carbon bar, and obviously as the company owner, you take a few products, put them on your own bike, and
this is definitely nothing against that brand, more the material, but I really didn't enjoy ever using carbon bars personally, and this isn't just trying to validate what you've said, this is a personal thing, that they just felt really rigid to me. I feel like they lost quite a lot of feel, to be honest. They just felt, it felt disconnected a little bit. That's just how I felt.
I think the initial ones
I
were
took them off after a few rides. Yeah, definitely. And I feel like it looks like even the race teams a little bit have gone away from carbon these days a little bit more.
Yeah.
And gone back to alloy bars. Yeah, that's probably accurate, I think. There's a lot of teams not running carbon stuff anymore.
I mean, people try, like,
especially wheels as well. But
again, there's probably people shouting at the speakers saying you can engineer in flex. You can make it, but you can make it move more. You can make it feel more supple. You can do whatever you want with carbon. I'm not 100% hating on carbon. I just think you can't get around the fact that you're going to clamp a stem around it, and not everyone who clamps a stem around it is going to use a torque wrench. This guy isn't. I'm a numbskull. I'm just going to do it up until it doesn't move. And I think putting your name on something and knowing that people are going to over tighten it, they're going to create a tight point. Maybe it will never snap, but it might. And I don't like that. I don't like the idea of having your brake levers done up to a specific torque, or I just think it's unrealistic. You're clamping your grips, your gear, your dropper, your brakes around a carbon tube. It doesn't deal well. Yeah, you can make it strong in certain directions. It doesn't deal well with those clamping forces, those sharp edges. So that was why, I appreciate a lot of these things are going to be probably wrong. But these are my opinions on my bar. So, your product. We've dipped straight in here into your product and stuff, which is fantastic. But also, what's the backstory of this coming to market? Like, when does this conversation start? How come you were offered? Is it obviously it's a celebration of 20 years at DMR, but how long has this process taken, or is this on the notepad that we haven't got into just yet? No, it's not really that side of things. So, I tell you, I'll be honest here. A signature product's been on the cards for years, but I work too closely with DMR. It would be akin to publicly exposing myself. Maybe not. Maybe that's a bad analogy. I can't. Doing my own signature product is too weird for me. Can you understand? Can you get that? I work real closely with DMR.
Yeah, I can.
Easy for me to work on a death grip. Easy for me to work on Deeks' saddle. These are my friends. I'm doing hopefully a good job in making signature products for them. But when it comes to doing it for myself, it's like writing a Tinder bio. It's like I can't do it. I can't it's like writing your CV, for instance. I'm a outgoing and nice chap. I'm
who
very
said it
intelligent.
first?
You can't do it. It's too horrible. I can't do it.
So who said it first though? Whose idea was it first? Like who was like, right, let's do a signature bar. It must Matt, because I'm guessing I know what you're saying. You're a little bit too you don't want to be like, can I have a signature product? Because that's just not how you are.
It should be. A signature product shouldn't be like that.
No.
It should be like, we're doing a signature product with you. We want your input, but we're doing it. Whereas if, I do everything from like design to it can go from packaging, it can go from product design. I do it all. The stuff like when you buy your death grips, the layout on the packaging I've done on a computer. You know what I mean? It's too close. It's very easy for me to do cool little taglines and stuff for Bren, or a cool camo for Deeks.
It's your own thing. I can see that. It just feels a little bit braggadocious or whatever.
It's too weird. It's not in my nature to really do it.
Yeah.
I think anyone. I think actually, if you were given the chance to do it yourself, or maybe as for listeners to think of people to think of what they would have on their signature product. Like, actually, when it comes to it, it's too weird. It's too personal. What are you going to do? Just put a signature on something that's already there? You want to have input. But so it's an interesting story, actually, how I got this. Because I designed these bars. These bars were going to be... We're kind of going to get into it when we talk about the shape of it. But these bars were going to come out anyway. They were going to come out anyway. And they became my signature bar. So that's how it works. But
understood.
That sounds like it takes away from the fact it's a signature product. As far as I'm concerned, if you're someone who works in product development and graphic design and riding the product, which I do for DMR, it's almost like every product in some ways feels like a signature product. Like I don't have my name on it. I'm not. I've developed loads of products with DMR, and I get to enjoy the fact that people are out there using them and they like them and they get good reviews in magazines.
The Death Grip's probably a great example, right? Because you have done so much development in that. It's almost isn't Olly's signature product, but yeah, it's got Brendan's name on it.
Yeah, like exactly. It's like it's been hugely popular, and I think it's amazing that it's been so popular because we've each and every person that's been involved with it has had input, and so it's Brendan's product, yes, absolutely, but it's also a lot of other people's products, just like my bar is, just like Deeks' saddle is, just like all of these products are. So yeah, it is a weird one though, dude. Coming up with something for yourself. Have you ever done Tinder?
I can imagine. No, never did it. Nah, I don't think I could sell myself that good, to be honest.
Tough. I remember trying.
Yeah, especially not with this half lit up face with like a patchy beard. I'm not loving this look at the moment, to be honest. But we're sticking with it because this is what
it wouldn't be the shot
situation we're in.
It looks like you're about to be abducted. Do you know what I mean? It looks like a spaceship's outside the window. You're about to be beamed up. Yeah,
this is the worst time to record. I'll be honest, the sun just comes perfectly outside this window.
My apologies. But
we'll keep going.
Yeah, why
not? It's fine. Yeah, I can imagine that was difficult though, dude. Like having to write your own, blurb for the product and put your own stamp on it and stuff. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it had to be done. I think it's a great thing. So let's talk through the product development side of it then. So the conversations happened. You've been given the go ahead. We're going to do a Siggy bar. It's going to be what do you call it? The Odub bar? Is that right?
The Odub bar, yeah. Do you know what the product development is?
Miles
not the
Fu Manchu.
No, it's not called the Fu Manchu. The Odub bar will have started a really long time ago when I first started updating and developing the wing bar, which is its predecessor. So I spent so long fiddling around with different rises. So let's start at the shape, for instance. The shape is at the heart of the bar, and it's the most important thing. So the shape that is on the Odub bar is a shape that we worked on a really long time ago on the wing bar. I couldn't actually tell you the exact date, but it's got to be 10 years ago. It's got to be. It's like
right, yeah.
And at the time, I just had every single up and back sweep imaginable. At the time, it was like bars were all one shape. Weirdly, it had become almost like standardized, and we wanted to not to separate ourselves, but we wanted to improve on that shape. And
okay.
And it's
why do you think that was? Why do you think they come as standardized? Obviously,
I think
is it because a lot of people use the similar factories, and it was like there was already a mold? Because that's a lot of it sometimes, right? The mold is like literally that's what it is. You can put your own branding on it.
Yeah, there's a bit of that, and there's just like a copycat aspect. Like you want to just stay safe, and to a certain extent, always you end up, products don't end up deviating that much shape-wise because largely someone else has done the job that I'm talking about myself doing, and we're all human beings that ride bikes, so you know what feels shit. Basically, okay, so you have 2 degrees. You have back sweep and up sweep. Let's start with the up sweep. There's 5 degrees of up sweep on the Odub bar. I tried multiple different up sweeps. When you go to 4 degrees, your bars feel like droopy rabbit's ears. Like floppy rabbit's ears. If you go above 5, they feel like there's pressure on the outside of your hand. So that's something that I could really simply and easily identify. Like it just felt obvious to me.
And how were you testing it?
We were testing it.
What are we talking?
So the
trail bike?
Yeah. Trail bike and jump bike, whatever. I just put bars. That's another thing about the bars. I want them to be on every bike in the range because I think the shape is something that you get really used to, and it feels like an old boot when you put your hands on the bars. They all, on my bikes, they all feel the same, and it's just so nice. I get on someone else's bike and I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? It feels real.
It's crazy, dude. If you like undo your stem bolts and accidentally put them in a different place, the bars, the bike will ride so different for a little bit.
So
that's true.
I know what bike dweebs are going to be saying. They're going to be saying, where do you measure from? How do you... So it doesn't matter. We have a constant in that we have a manufacturer, and we ask this manufacturer to do all of the different rises and sweeps. So the number is actually irrelevant. All we're testing is their method of measuring. So it's 5 up and 8 back. So we tried 4 up, we tried 10 back. We tried every single combination of different things. And slowly you just narrow it down to what you like. And like I was doing a lot of it back to back, and like we tried loads of different, loads of different shapes. And you could really, by the end of it, I could put on like, I would try like other manufacturers' bars, and I could tell what numbers they were, regardless of what the numbers were on it. You could tell approximately where they're at.
Wow.
You know, if they feel a bit droopy, they're going below 5. They're probably in the region of 4. If they feel really dead, if they feel like a broomstick, that's your back sweep. So when a set of bars, I don't know if you've ever experienced this, you get on a bike and it just feels like dead square, like a broomstick handlebar. Like back sweep's super important. Yeah. So that.
Okay. All right. So just for our listeners who maybe aren't as up to scratch with these numbers.
Yeah.
So what is up sweep? What is back sweep?
So up sweep is a measurement. It's degrees.
This is for me too.
Is it? Okay. So if you just imagine your grip, if your grip was a broomstick, it was just a dead square pole. There would be 0 degrees rise. There'd be 0 degrees upsweep. Sorry. So as soon as you add 5 degrees, you're going to turn your hands in. So it's 5 degrees up. Yeah. So that's your 5 degrees. And then your back sweep. If you move your hands to that position, the back sweep is like that. Because obviously, if you go from your shoulders out to your hands with a 780 width bar, your hands aren't going to be. If your hands were broomstick, you'd have to put a weird bend in your wrist. So that's how it works. That was really poorly probably explained to audio people, but so we're working with 5 and 8 on the.
And at this point, when you're doing 5 and 8 and you're testing, you're trying to find that perfect combination of up sweep and back sweep. Are you running the same rise, or are you changing that as well? Because maybe a 30mm rise might be better than a 20mm rise.
I hear what you're saying, but
different back sweep.
But honestly, the shape is kind of, for me, I feel like rise is geometry. The shape is just a thing on its own. It's like it's like a thing that can be applied to different.
It's like a constant.
Yeah, it's a constant. Exactly. Yeah. So at the time, I mean, if I'm honest, I run 35. I've run 35 on a lot of different bikes. I just like a 35mm rise bar. The Odub, it's something weird about saying Odub for me when it comes out of my mouth. Do you know what I mean? My signature bar is available in 20mm rise.
Manchu bar.
Yeah, Manchu bar. 20mm rise, 35mm rise, and 50mm rise. So that is yeah. So it's
50s,
3 bars. Yeah. So the reason for that is that I really like biking, all kinds of different biking. So whether it's a cross-country ride where I might run my 20mm rise bar, whether it's my trail bike where I ride my 35mm rise bar, or if it's my jump bike where I run my 50mm rise bar. So it's mega cool to have a whole range. I am stoked. I hope it comes across that I'm stoked and I'm not just rattling off numbers and making a advert of this.
No, it does, mate. It definitely does come across stoked. Like you said, that's like the perfect summary of your style of biking too, which is really cool.
Yeah, exactly. So I would liken the shape to, like, I loved I was trying to think of cool ways that we could do like a video, promotional video for these bars, or a cool way of like putting across what the shape was. And I love in surf that people have their shapers and they refine this thing down. That's how I imagine the 5 and 8. It's just like a shape that's just like, I mean, you just don't. I just don't think about it anymore. I couldn't run something else. I feel so weird. I've got on bikes from Focus before, and they've come with like the stock bars, and I just roll around on them. I'm like, whoa, Like, get me on 5 and 8, get me on the Odub bars. So, yeah, the shape I think is really cool, really integral.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
We've now covered the rise. Those are also available in 31/8 or 35mm clamp diameter.
Okay, interesting.
I run.
Yeah, and what would you say is the most popular? 35 these days, would you say? But still, people are running the 31.8.
Yeah, so I only run 35, just because it's stronger and lighter. The 35mm high rise bar is 800mm wide, and it's lighter than the 31/8 low rise bar, which has, in theory less material, and that's only 780 wide. So there's a big weight saving, or not big, but there's a weight saving aspect involved. Also, I really love the feeling of the 35mm rise bars. I think they're the right amount of flex for me. I really I'm a big fan actually of 35 clamp. Yeah.
I've not run 31.8 for a long time.
No, I wanted to include
really
it because
time.
I don't want to stop people from upgrading their bikes with their existing stems. I just hate the fact, I hate how the bike industry is. It just leaves you constantly feeling like your stuff's outdated and crap, and it's not. I wanted to give 31.8 as an option. It's more for people that can't afford to buy a stem when they buy the bars. I just don't want them to be left out. I think that's the main reason.
No, it's great. Yeah, definitely. No, it's good for sure. Yeah, it was funny because when we did joystick, it was actually still an even split, even till the end when we stopped doing that brand. It was still pretty much 50-50, 31.8 and 35, like sales wise. So, like you say, you'd usually see that most people, when they bought a 35mm bar, they'd buy a stem at the same time.
Yeah,
it's really weird you've said that. Actually, I kind of forgot that you'd usually sell them in pairs.
Yeah, totally.
And then the regular bar, the 31.8, would just be like a bar, set of bars, especially the cheaper ones, which we did the digger bar, which is like 50 quid.
Yeah, 100%. I think I would spec, and I think largely now bikes come spec'd with 35. As I said, they are stronger and you can make them wider. So all the 35s are 800, so you can cut them down to whatever. I run mine at 7. I run mine at 770 on my trail bike, and then 730, I think, on my jump bike. I'm pretty sure. Something like that. So yeah, I cut down every bar I get, yeah.
So then, what's next on the fact sheet? Because I
sheets,
personally, I'm like, let's jump all over the place, but I want to add some sort of structure to this.
Yeah.
So I'd just be like,
another thing I hate is, and another thing I've always liked about DMR. So that design philosophy of making stuff serviceable, making it not throwaway, that has always had an environmental message without greenwashing or talking about it. And DMR, I think there's something cool about DMR as a brand for that, because it's always been the same. Nothing's ever changed. It's always don't want to make crappy, wasteful products that you throw away, kind of thing. And with these bars, I actually didn't want packaging at all, because I think bars get sold in a bike shop, they get put on the rack, or if they get ordered direct, they just go to your door. So what's the point in having this bit of cardboard and zip ties and all of that? So I just put the barcode laser etched onto the bar. So that's all you need. It's got the information on the bar.
I'll be honest, I like it.
Yeah, it's got.
Doesn't come in a plastic bag or anything.
It might have to come in, but I think we got bamboo bags. But it might have to, just for transit. But whatever happens, you just try and cut down on. That's the thing about greenwashing. It's none of us are sucker free. All of us are making. There's impact in everything you do. And we're not shouting about it, but if you can just do tiny bits, exactly. So just putting the barcode on there just means we don't need to.
It's a really good idea.
Have a bit of paper and 2 zip ties. They're just all kind of tiny little steps that avoid tiny little bad things. I mean, we're going to put it on a bike straight away and hurtle down a hill, so don't really matter, does it? You don't need those bits.
You don't need a cardboard and some zip ties or anything. No, I agree. Again, coming from doing that stuff, a lot of our retailers used to moan about it. Be like, why is it come in this thick plastic unrecyclable bag? We're just going to snip it out, literally cut it out, put the sticker off the bag on the bars, and put them on a shelf. It's like, just send them without it.
Yeah, totally.
You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm with you on that. Totally, dude. It's just a tiny little step in the right direction, I think. So good on you. I like the idea of putting the barcode on the bar. That's great.
Yeah, it's
That's
cool,
really
isn't
good.
it?
I like that.
It is cool. Like, I love working
Yeah.
at DMR because it's just like stupid ideas become really good ones, and that was a perfect one. That was Richard came up with that idea in the design office.
Just
and we were all
laser
just
it on there.
Yeah,
It's a
we were
great
trying
idea.
to find like cool packaging ways of doing the packaging, and I was thinking of these, you know, like stuff down the end of the bar, just a bit of paper stuff down the end of the bar, and then I was like, oh, maybe we can do it with a bit of string, and then Richard was just like, why don't you just fucking put it on the bar? It doesn't matter. It's on the bottom of the bar. The barcode's there. You scan it and it's good to go. Also, all of the product information's on the bar anyway, in the clamping area. So everything you need to know is on that bar. Do you like the look of it? Yeah, it's got cool graphics. What size is it? What clamp size? What rise? It's all there. So yeah, there's no real point in having packaging.
Nice.
There's one more thing I want to talk about, and this is probably the driest.
Please.
This is probably the most boring thing, but maybe not. I always think people react well to these things. I think actually people are more interested. I think the companionship loves biking. I think a lot of people are interested in like how products are made and what things matter.
Yeah,
and what
they love new bars as well.
Yeah.
Love them.
they love them.
Can't wait.
But
yeah,
like what?
Yeah.
You know, we really look at stuff under a microscope. Really, really look at stuff under a microscope when you're developing a product, particularly if you work for a brand that actually cares and stuff. So I find these things interesting when I hear someone else talk about it. So hopefully listeners will too. So the last thing, and probably the driest thing of all of them, the biggest dryer in my list of dry things, it's actually the butting process. So this is tough. Bear with me, all right?
Oh, yeah, all
so
right.
traditionally,
let's do the butting process.
all our previous bars have used linear butting, which is fine. It's brilliant. Your bar starts at the clamping size. So butting is like the wall thickness. It's a way of altering the wall thickness. So your bar starts at the clamping size. So for a 35mm bar for this conversation, it comes as just like a scaffold tube of 35.
The 35mm. Yeah.
It then gets drawn out, and linear butting it gets drawn out, so the wall thickness changes. So you change it to using these rollers. We use spiral butting in the Odub bar, and under a microscope, if you cut a cross section under a microscope, it leaves a perfectly smooth surface. And in engineering a product that needs to withstand load, you don't want any sharp edges, which is why I bang on about like clamping surfaces. Sharp edges mean failure point. It means an area that the product can fail on. I'm no engineer, Barry. I appreciate I probably sound like a moron to the engineers listening, but the spiral butting process just means that the bar is as smooth as physically possible, particularly on the inside. So if a product fails, it always fails on a sharp edge. It always fails on a V. It's why you try and put radiuses on everything. It's why you try and make no sharp clamping edges. You can make if you look at a stem, if you look at your stem, it won't be a 90 degree. It will have some sort of way of making the edge, the load be spread. You just don't want load in single places. So this spiral butting technique, when we got sent through like lab images, it was actually really exciting. It was these comparisons between linear and spiral butting, and the difference was massive. You could clearly see like sharp edges under a microscope, all of which are failure points. And with this spiral butting, it means you can get wall thickness down, and you can have the bar as light as possible for also being bomb-proof strong, which it definitely is. So I think I've come to the end of my my rabbiting on.
I got a question.
Please.
I don't know if this is still true, but you can probably confirm nor deny that there actually isn't any brand that makes handlebars in the UK. This definitely used to be true because we were looking at it ourselves. Like, can we do a handlebar in the UK? But it's that what did you call it? Not the butt-in, but the actual machine which takes it from that diameter to the button. I think it is called the button, right?
Yeah.
So it takes it down. that literally we don't have those machines in the UK anywhere. But the reason I mentioned it though is because that was definitely a fact up until a few years ago. But I did see recently that Hope had put a post on with their bars being manufactured, and I was like, I wonder if they figured it out. But as of not that long ago, you couldn't make bars in the UK. It literally didn't exist. I don't know. I'd love to hear from anyone if they know that a brand is doing it in the UK, etc. But as far as I'm aware, it's almost impossible to do in the UK.
I mean, I quite like.
It might have been carbon bars. They might have been carbon bars. That's the thing as well.
I would rather
if that's different.
my bars were made by someone in Taiwan who really is good at what they do.
Yeah, they make bars.
I feel like exactly. Yeah. It's funny. I don't have any. I'm not really drawn to kind of these UK made products.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm really not. I just imagine the bloke all entitled and
he's made a spade before, and then he's making some bars.
Yeah, he's hungover.
And you're gonna hill yourself down a hill.
I like the idea of it being like a.
I mean, obviously the manufacturers you guys use, etc., and the factories are geared up for this. It's what they do. It's what they've done for.
They're rather good at it.
Yeah, they've got it. They've got it sweet.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's interesting. It's been. Yeah, what about, I guess, one element we haven't touched on? So once you've got the design and not the design, but like the size, the
shape and the
upsweep,
spec,
the back sweep, you've got all that dialed. Then how much free reign did you have with the actual design that's on them? Did you want to keep them quite neutral, quite like, not too out there design wise? Because I know you're super creative and stuff. So was there a tendency to be like, we're gonna have fucking 23 all over it and this and that, or because from what I've seen, because I've only seen one pair, dude, on your bike, and I didn't look at them that closely, I'll be brutally honest, but they're quite understated. Is that fair to say?
They are. Well, you've
kept it quite. They
are the entire DMR bikes bar range, so I can't go drawing dicks all over it and 23s and having flamingos and all of that sort of thing. So
the sun's just gone.
Yeah, absolutely. We kept them super understated. I mean, to be honest, that's my choice because I don't want to shout. It's just what I like. It's just like cool branding is what I like, and I like it to not be too shouty. So, yeah.
You just touched on something which I didn't know. So this signature bar is actually replacing.
Yeah.
How long did DMR still do the wing bar? Has that now been discontinued and has been for a while?
No, it'd be the full range. My bar is the DMR bar, so you can understand I didn't want to make it too like. It's a tough balance because you could make it really jazzy and you're just not gonna. People don't want to put that on. I don't know, but I don't want to put that something jazzy on my bike. I want my bike to be chill. I want my bike to be low key, and I want the riding to do the talking. Personally, I've always felt that way, so. I think that's reflected in the bars, maybe.
So you just made some nice little subtle changes to what was the wing bar, like adding the barcode on there, adding the clamp size on there and stuff like that, and then you've got a nice little subtle Odub logo. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. There? It's funny, dude, because it's like the DMR logo is something I did as well. You know what I mean? It's all like, it is all my artwork or whatever, but it's just not really.
Okay.
It's not like all crazy drawings and stuff coming out of my brain. But it is all stuff that I like. It's like the rebrand of.
So you did the DMR logo, did you? The one that's like the. Oh well, really? There you go.
No, it's not that logo on the bars. The bars. Dougie's going to put a picture of the bars here, so you can see them here. But that DMR logo I did do. As I also did the Death Grip logo and many other logos that you might have seen when looking through the DMR products. Yeah, it's been a long time I've been doing all that stuff for them.
That's sick, dude. That's so good. I'm stoked for you about it. It's nice you've got a Siggy product. It's not your first Siggy product for DMR.
It's not.
But hopefully this one's a little bit more popular.
My last one was not popular. I didn't even ride my last one. We developed it and then I got sponsored by a suspension company. It was right when it was turning from me being a rigid rider, and they just took so long to develop and actually arrive that the next year came around, and when they were launched, it was like, that's cool, guys, but I'm kind of on suspension now.
How many bikes do you think are stolen in the UK each year?
I guess I'm going to say each year is going to be 40...
More.
56.
More than 56.
116.
106 sounds like a lot, but it's still not enough.
Okay.
77.3 thousand was stolen in 2020 alone.
It's a lot of bikes getting stolen, man.
Did you know, dude? It is a lot of bikes. It's a bike every 6 minutes in Great Britain, with 54% of the thefts being from your home.
Wow, that's awful, man. I also heard 81% of bike theft victims were emotionally impacted by the crime, and in March 2020, most thefts took place while the bike was locked.
So they're impacted and it was locked.
Yes.
They're emotionally impacted and it was locked.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's really sad.
Yeah.
We want to help our podcast family avoid the drama, heartbreak and inconvenience that comes with having your pride and joy stolen.
Yep.
After all, those people aren't just taking your bike.
No.
They're taking away your freedom.
They are.
Your enjoyment.
Yeah.
And for some people, an escape from the pressures
Of everyday life.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Voted best cycle insurance provider for 4 years running. That is a company called LAKA, and we are stoked to have them back supporting the Ride Companion. So, LAKA does insurance differently, and unlike most insurance companies, they actually aim to save you money on your cover each month. You see, LAKA doesn't charge a fixed sum. Instead of paying at the beginning of the month for what damages an insurer projects might happen, you actually pay at the end of the month for what has actually happened. Get it?
It makes sense.
It does make sense.
It makes sense. So basically what you pay is based on the collective's total claims for that month, up to a max capped amount.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Exactly.
It's better as a collective, isn't it?
It's better.
It is better.
By insuring with LAKA, you benefit from cover for theft and damage of bikes, kit and accessories, even during races.
Okay.
Some exceptions for pros, but you'll not be at a race, so don't worry.
No, that's fine. There's £200 worth of emergency cash to be used for hiring another bike, which is really good when you're on a trip.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah.
Covers you abroad for 120 days and protects you if an airline damages your kit.
That's useful.
That is useful.
Claims are handled by real cyclists and are usually agreed within a day.
Fast. Cover starts from just £5 per month. So, should we give the companionship a little deal?
Yeah, dude. Here's what we're going to do for our podcast family members. Head over to laka.co.
What's
just
that?
CO. Laka.co.
Yeah.
CO.
Yeah, CO.
And get a free online quote. Have a little read through all the information and see if it's for you. Mm-hmm. When you're happy, enter the code. And this is in capitals.
It's in capitals.
Ride Companion 30. What is that?
Ride Companion 30. What is it?
Ride Companion 30 in capitals. It gets you 30 days free insurance.
Wow, that's a deal, man.
That is a deal.
We'll put all the links in the show description,
so
people can just head there, click the link, get a free quote, and hopefully have a little bit of peace of mind. No one's stealing your bike, and be able to enjoy the beauty that is bicycle riding.
Oh, can keep enjoying it. Imagine if you got your bike nicked in the free 30 days. I'd be real cavalier in those 30 days.
Yeah.
I would. I'd be leaving it outside. All sort of that.
Thank you, LAKA.
Thanks, LAKA.
Yeah.
So I think we've reached a natural end to this. I hope that it's been interesting. Okay. I hope that people have enjoyed hearing about it.
Do you think we've touched on everything that you wanted to touch upon on the bars? I'm genuinely, man, when we've gone through this whole journey today, we've talked about how you got into, discovering DMR and all of the history, the heritage.
Yeah.
To see you finally got a Siggy product that's actually good, not a shit one. I'm really excited for you. I really am, and I hope that the companionship are gonna take a look at the bars. I hope that when they're due a new set of bars, they're gonna be like, actually, I'm gonna get the Odub ones. I'm gonna support the podcast, support you in your career. And support a cool brand that's been doing it for a long time, that's doing it for the right reasons, not just making cash, and bouncing. So I think it's been really interesting, man, to take an overview, not just of this project, but the brand, what they stand for. It's brought up a lot of memories, man. I'll be honest with you.
Good,
a lot of memories have come up today, which I hadn't thought about for a long time. Yeah, my love of that brand, really. I totally forgot. I can envisage my friend getting the first DMR Trail Star now. I can envisage me getting one, buying it second hand. I actually bought it out of the ad mag. That's how old this is.
Yeah.
You remember the ad mag?
Yeah.
Did you used to get the ad mag? Yeah, I used to get the ad mag. I used to trawl through the ad mag looking for new bikes when we couldn't afford good ones. But yeah, I remember this one time there's a DMR in there, and I remember going and getting it, dude, with my dad. Like it's brought up a lot of memories today. It really has, and I hope it's done the same for our listeners too. I think it'd be cool, man. Can we do it? Can we give a set away? Do you think we could probably give?
Oh, mate, absolutely, yeah. I was actually going to hold off, and then we can do a big contest on another. Far. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's hold off, and we'll do a big contest. We'll do a big following thingy. Yeah.
Okay, we'll do a big contest. We will do something for you guys, but if you can, if you see the post online, maybe you see Olly's post about these bars on the 23rd. Maybe we can shoot it a little share, get the companionship behind it, because ultimately we're all out here trying to support each other, right? We're all trying to do it for the right reasons. So I think if we could do that, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you know what is rad is that I
know you hate self-promotion.
Well, it's
sorry.
Tough. I know this has been a fairly self-promotion. I appreciate it. Big ups. I just like. I do feel. I feel like this is like a closing statement. Oh God, he said that, and now can't remember what he was going to say. It's not a good start. If you're going to put your name on something, I kind of feel like I do actually really care, and I would feel zero amount of stress or worry that if someone bought the bars that they would not like them, or that they would have a bad experience. Like,
there's a lot in that.
It's so relaxing to me to launch these bars. It's like, I know they're strong, safe, good, the right shape. Like, I don't even have a doubt. So if you want a new set of bars, you get whatever you want, but you won't go wrong if you get these. So yeah.
Maybe go to your local bike shop. I think that's probably the best thing you can do. If they don't have them, ask them why. Tell them where to get them from. Upgrade Bikes, right? That's the distributor. We'll put a link in the show description anyway. To the bars, and we'll put a link to the film that you've got coming out. Like, you've got a launch film coming out, is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Dougie's done one for my YouTube. So that
will that be on your channel?
Yeah, it'll be on my channel. Yeah, it will. It'll probably touch on a lot of the stuff we've talked about today. But I mean, hopefully it's interesting.
It's not an hour and 20 minutes long, though, is it?
No, it's not. Not in the detail. No, not the level of detail. But it'll probably be a lot of the same stuff.
Yeah, we'll put a link to all that. Yeah, we'll put a link to all that in the show description below. So please check that out, have a watch, give it a share. That's super helpful. Again, we're all on the come up together, folks. It's not trying to be weird or anything. It's just nice to support you, and I think you've done a lot for the companionship over the years, and I think the least that we can do is to support you on this journey.
Appreciate it, dog.
Sell these things out.
Appreciate it. Yeah, it'd be good. It'd be good to sell them out, wouldn't it? It would be good to sell them out, but I feel confident. They're fantastic. I'm happy regardless. Good. I've got a Siggy bar, dude. What on earth? Who knew?
Siggy
I didn't
bar,
think
man.
that'd happen.
A life behind bars.
Mate.
Lands with a Siggy bar.
Yeah. When I was 17, I did not think I was going to have a signature bar in 20 years' time. You know what I mean? It's rad. Yeah, it's well cool.
Nah, it's really sick, dude. Really happy for you. Stoked. Genuinely am.
Cheers, brother.
I'm looking forward to trying a set as well. And I think that's it. Should we wrap up at that?
Let's wrap up at that.
You'll be in Mexico.
The next episode is going to be in Mexico. That's right, yeah. We'll be in Mexico.
Maybe.
Or maybe it's already been.
Yeah, maybe.
Who knows? I can't think. I need to check the calendar.
Who knows? We're in the future. We're heavily in the future. Thank you, everyone. We really appreciate your support. And this has been a blast. I've really enjoyed it, man. It's been nice to take a bit of a trip down memory lane. Quite a different episode to what we've been putting out recently. But
I think it was good,
enjoyable.
though. I think it was good. So, I enjoyed it anyway. Time flies. I don't feel like we've been talking for that long. Hopefully it wasn't a long listen. We can talk about like our dicks again next week.
I think we've been just fine.
Yeah, it'll be alright.
Yeah, we'll get dicks out next week.
Oh, that was a good episode, wasn't it?
Good episode. Really enjoyed that one, mate. Yeah,
that was one of the best.
I think so. It's our best work so far. Yeah, definitely. So what should people do if they want to keep in touch?
Just there.
Yeah.
There's one there.
One down there.
I think there's one there as well.
Like and subscribe.
Thank you.